Go pick up that expo. He doesn't have a pull, right? Is he going 3-hatch? You crazy devil.
Our probes are under attack.
At the gold bases, maybe?
That'll cost more minerals.
Took that base first. Did he take a gold? You crazy devil. I caught a pull on the way by. Maybe he just expanded outwards first. I think I'll just go standard.
Work that in.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the classic build. I see no reason to switch up then.
Enemy is gunning for our probes.
Gunning with their vicious claws. Their claws. Imagine claws with guns. Claw guns. Coming to a Walmart near you. Alright. I've done it. I've invented the newest level of technology for the Zerg. Don't thank me. Thank America.
That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Glorious combat is upon us.
Are Zergs allowed in Walmart? They'd probably bring up the average quality of a Walmartian. Get out of here.
Can't warp that in.
Glory to the Daylon. The first war shall
Upgrade complete.
where
Seems more pylons. More minerals.
One more, and then we go.
We don't have enough minerals.
The key to this attack is that if he has enough to defend, he doesn't have enough workers to be in a good place economically, and if he doesn't have enough to defend,
I think we can't warp that in.
then I do damage. Simple enough.
I have met the enemy.
Wait, what the fuck?
Glory. Iron shall be reclaimed.
Our base is under attack.
Glorious combat is upon us.
Minerals.
Glory to the Daylon.
I have a feeling that these adepts are going to do more damage than the ones in the main. Did he even take that other base? I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking at here.
That'll cost more minerals than half.
Glory to the day.
That'll cost more minerals than half. Upgrade is ready for
He didn't have a lair yet, so he has no counter to Void Race. Overall.
Give us your command. The Templar. We serve. Glaive cannon armed. I am the will of the hierarchy. Yes, Executor.
He just threw away all his roaches as well, leaving me with a fuck ton of Void Rays and him with very little options to counter them. Gonna go this way. Get the fleet beacon.
That'll cost we don't. I guess that can't work without a power field. Construct additional pylons.
I didn't think he would have that. Not with what he's done so far, but
We need more pylons.
he didn't need the lair, right?
Construct additional pylons.
I have met the enemy.
We need more vents. Completely mined out.
Glory to the day.
Are those hybrids? You know what? I'm just gonna walk it out.
That's gonna require more gas.
There you go.
Replay save.
One MMR. Boys, nailed it. That was a hard-earned one right there. Number one. I'm still waiting for these guys to fight it out. I went Void Rays because there were a fuck ton of roaches attacking me. I wouldn't go Phoenix against like 16 roaches because I can lift, what, like 3 of them and then they'll die and then there's still 13 roaches. So I reacted to what I saw.
Welcome to the galaxy of dreams.
Ow, fuck. I hit my chair. That was violent. I'm hoping this match ends in the next What are you looking at very early on in the scout to drive that Void Ray? Well, it's not early on. It's when my adepts come across the map. My initial 7-8 adepts come across the map, and they start getting intimate with like 10 or 12 roaches. I already know. In order, let's just go ahead. Let's paint a picture here. You know what? Let's paint a better picture because I got to fill time. Let's go ahead and take a look at that replay and the decision-making on my part and the consequences and why I made those decisions. We're not going to only talk about the decisions, we're going to talk about the implications of said decision. So starting out, we're on Vonnie Research Station. We're in Protoss versus Zerg. What does this mean? You might be like, well, LOL, the tile set's kind of ghetto. But I counter. Have you seen the lagoon? There's a fucking lagoon down here. You can't really see it because it's not lit up by like an overlord or something, but there's a lagoon. And isn't that quaint as fuck? Anyways, moving on. Turn off the damn music. All right. So this means as a Protoss player, I'm able to get my bases up relatively safely. So I'm already making the decision, especially because I know this guy might try to cheese or something. I'm walling off my front. I'm not going to go Nexus first or anything that might leave me open and vulnerable to early pressure. So I'm scouting off this initial gate, which is relatively early. I'm not trying to block anything because I want to see, are you going for an early pool? Are you drone scouting? Stuff like that. This initial scout is looking for, are you expanding? Are you getting gas? And are you getting your pool? Those are the only things I'm going to see because after those things are done, then he's going to kill the probe. So I come in and I look at all the creep. I actually missed this. This was a bit of a mistake, by the way, on my part. You need to tap down here, especially against Zerg, and see if he had that expo. Would have taken another 2 seconds, right? But I didn't do it. That's a mistake. And then it would have taken all doubt out of my mind. I cleared the entire creep. There's no way he has a spawning pool anywhere else, so I already know there's a hedge somewhere. If he doesn't have a spawning pool at 1 minute and 30 seconds, he's expanding. Or he's having a stroke. Take your pick. But yeah, I see he doesn't have this base. I assume he has this base or maybe the gold base. I'm immediately clicking out there, and I see gas pull. This is your standard transition, right? So I know, okay, we got a pretty standard build. He's expanding outwards, but this is nothing, like, too crazy. Like, this doesn't mean I don't have to swerve at the moment. There's nothing that's going to put me off my relatively standard build, and the standard build should be determined by something you can do against, I'd say, a large, sizable percentage of their openers. And the vast majority of Zerg players will go, not the vast majority, but the majority of Zergs will go for a relatively early expo into gas and pool to get Zergling speed somewhat early on. And that means a gate expand is a good opener. Into glaives is a good opener against the majority of players. And that's the direction that I want to go at the start of the game. So, I see nothing that tells me to do something else. I see the expansion. I see he has a couple Zerglings. I have my wall. So we get the Twilight. There's no reason not to. And right now, I'm pretty much done with making decisions. There are no more decisions to be made at this point. I'm pretty much committed to going down this Adept Glaives road no matter what. I'm locked in. There's no off-ramp. There's no turnarounds. We're going down this road. And if he had gone for like a massive Roach Lingolin or something, I could be in a bit of trouble. Like if he had immediately made a Roach Warren and just started pumping out Roaches, because I don't scout with the Adept. If you want to be really safe, you can sacrifice pretty much this Adept to scout and see if he's going to have these things. Like you can go around and see the drone count. If he doesn't have very many drones at his second base, or if he has a Roach Horn in the main, well, there you know. And he gets his Roach Horn pretty early on, but not all in early on. But that's a minor risk. Like, right now, I'm taking a calculated risk of not sending out the Adept, so I'll have a little bit of a stronger Adept push. But if I wanted to be 100% instead of like 92% sure that I wasn't going to die to something, then I would send out the Adept and sacrifice it. But it's usually not worth it. But yeah, from here, now let me tell you the game plan with my build. I've got triple gate glaive to depths. The strength of this is twofold. twofold. One, Glaive Adepts pretty much force either a fuck ton of Zerglings or they force roaches. Either is good for you in order to dictate the pace of a game. And as a Protoss player, because of the way Protoss works and you have to make good tech choices at every turn, the Glaive Adepts are very popular because they dictate the pace of the game. Other openers, like the DT drop opener, are good as well because they dictate the pace of the game. They determine you have to be going for this tech. You might counter it, but if I don't make a mistake, you have to be going for roaches or you have to be defensive. And the same thing is for Glaive Adepts. So what I'm going to be trying to do, yep, that was right the first time. It didn't sound right, but it was right. Okay. Anyways, the first adepts are map control, potential damage. It's map control against a player who's playing safe. A safe player will not take a lot of economic damage because they made enough Zerglings or they made roaches. And then, a greedy player will take damage because they don't have enough Zerglings or they don't have roaches and they've made too many drones. And a very safe player, now you have scouting information. If you see a player with a bunch of roaches enough to straight up counter your adepts, you know their economy is so low that all you have to do is defend. So that third option is what happens in this particular game. So I build up, it's the second warp-in of adepts. I've got my double Stargate behind. It's okay to go for this. You actually have enough time. And the Stargates are good because they're a complete different direction. You're going for this very, very strong ground unit push with the 7-8 adepts. And you're forcing out roaches, you're forcing out Zerglings, you're forcing out maybe even spine crawlers if they don't know what they're doing. But you're not forcing out anti-air. None of this forces out anti-air, really. A spore crawler doesn't really count against phoenixes, but my intent is to follow up with phoenixes. So I come in, and I face check into these roaches. This was a mistake, by the way. I shouldn't have lost these, but... Now, this is a critical point right now. This is a critical point. I see these roaches, I don't just say... Oh, he has all these roaches. Yes, obviously, he has the fucking roaches. They're right there. But that's not the important part. The important part I'm going to show you right now, the worker count. Dead even. Dead even. A Protoss player versus a Zerg who's heavily invested in hatchery tech. If he was being greedy or if he was being conservative, he could have 50, 52 drones right now. He has 0 drones in the production tab. He has more roaches. So we're dead even. So what I'm saying right now is, you know why I'm going for this third base? I see the roaches, and I see that he's going to have to spend some time dealing with my adepts. He's going to have to spend some time dealing with my adepts. These roaches won't kill him quick enough. So, I try to get as much as I can done and keep the roaches at home because I know they won't have speed. Roaches are very slow. So, I'm going in, and I'm trying to get 5 or 6 drones is already a lot of damage against someone like this. And because I know his economy to get this many roaches out, if he has enough roaches to straight up outright kill your adepts right off the bat, a double-digit number of roaches is your critical mass. That's how you know that he doesn't have the economy. If you're hitting your time, if you didn't get super supply blocked, how do you even know his drone count? I don't need to see the drones. I just need to see what the drones have helped produce. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he has 10 or more roaches, he literally does not have the physical capability to have 55 drones. There is nothing that would allow him to do that unless he had gone for like a 3 hatch before pull or had a gold base, which he didn't. So I know for a fact his drone count is equal or lower than mine, and I kill a few drones, and now look at that. It's seeing the symptoms and knowing the illness. It's not knowing the illness based on like whatever the fuck comes up. You interpret what you see to know where you are in the game. And when I see that many roaches, I know I need to defend these roaches, but I keep them busy, kill a few drones, and I'll be way ahead in tech. Miles ahead, because I already have the double Stargate, remember? The only decision to make here is what do I build out of these Stargates? Right? And there are so many roaches, and I've already done damage to his workers. So, all I have to do to yeah, you see I've killed 9, 10 drones, and he still has this drone. He's effectively killed his own drones by making this many roaches. So every second that he's back at home are more drones that are not being made. because he made them into these roaches. So you see how many roaches he has now, but look at the worker count. He's still down in workers. He just made it. Let's go back a few seconds. But it's 32. 32. And he has slow roaches. Slow roaches are the most useless thing since Congress, all right? Like, they don't do shit. They're neither here nor there. They're not decisive. They never really get anything done. And they can be manipulated by so many things. So I'm very confident at this point I can put together the tech, and I'm going to have 3 bases, and I'm going to have the economy to crush. And, yeah, he has to walk all the fucking way across the map here. And look how long this takes. Oh, my God. This is in real time, by the way. We're on faster speed. This is not slowed down. And I'm still ahead in workers, even though he's been ahead this time to drone up over here. Just a couple void rays. He's never going to get damage done because these slow roaches spend so much time waddling across the map. And I've already won the game from this point, by the way. That was his one shot to do damage, was this huge investment. He invested very, very early on. When did you go Void Ray? Was it at the first account? As soon as I saw the roach count, I decided to go Void Ray. I made that decision very quickly. You can't be thinking about that decision because the important point was not now. The important point was right about here. This is the important point in the game, because every second you spend making a decision at this point is a second you don't spend killing drones. And the real key here is keeping him at home and killing drones. If you're spending time, oh shit, should I... Wait, what do I do? What do I do? Well, how do I kill roaches? And then I lose all my adepts? And he comes across the map, and even if I did decide to go Void Rays, he still does damage. So, as soon as I see these roaches, as soon as I see enough roaches to drive back my adepts, immediately Void Rays. And there you go. Are we not ready yet? 2 minutes max. As we wait, and we dance, and we cry.